Hello and welcome to the last podcast from the Young Yappers. We are the Young Yappers. I'm your host, Mason Flores. Joining me today, Mariana Aguilar, Malcolm Robinson, Arnaya Blanks. And today we're just going to keep it simple and talk about what we learned doing this course, which is group communication. Um, you guys want me to start first and set the tone? I think the biggest takeaway I'll take from this class is learning how to change my ways of doing things in a class in terms of like communication with people and with groups. Um, I think like the first day, Hoff put us in groups, like different groups. I don't think we didn't have the same group,
No,
and
we were like switching groups and
it,
stuff like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
and we spent like 2 hours or whatever. But I had to leave early. But I remember the first like 10 or 20 minutes we were just talking with different people and like I already had a expectation going into this class because of Pop's other class that I'm in, which is sports broadcasting.
Mhm.
I was like thinking like, oh yeah, everybody's gonna be like excited to do a podcast or something like that. And no, it was kind of different. Like the people I talked to, they were like, nah, I'm like, I kind of just want to learn how to do that, and like, or just I'm just here to just take a class, and they didn't know what they were signing up for. And I was like, huh, like that's kind of where it clicked. I was like, oh, this is gonna be different. So then when I got put into a group with you guys, it was like it was kind of different. Like we all can talk about certain stuff. We all had interests that we were all interested in,
Mhm.
but like it was just different because not everyone was as expressive as I am, which is hard to do because I'm like I don't know, y'all know I'm extra, but like I think that's the biggest thing that I will take away from is learning how to kind of be able to flow with everyone else in the certain group. Like if I'm getting outvoted into a certain thing, I'm gonna have to flow, and I feel like I did that pretty well um, in terms of that. And maybe I didn't, but I feel like that's just what I would take away from this. And I think that's just something that you have to learn in terms of being in a group of people and learning how to cooperate and learning how to be accountable. Like there are certain times where we couldn't do certain shows, certain days, and we were like, yeah, we're just gonna kind of dip out. I think that was a big negative. Like as you can see, we're the last group doing this. We
They don't know that.
No, yeah, we are. Yes, we are. This is good. Their podcasts are probably already posted. Yeah, bro. We not faking nothing over here. But the things about that is like we did take accountability. We were like, yeah, we still did it. We still knew what we had to do. I think a big thing that we will take away is time management. Like I'm a big person in terms of time management, and there were certain times where we wasted our time here.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm. That's the kind of a negative thing we did in here. But like that's a takeaway. That's a positive takeaway because
We can
time is money. Like, and we're not making money here, but this is like knowledge, and like you don't want to waste your time. That's all I'm gonna say. And yeah, I think those are good takeaways for me. Like that's all I really needed from this class. What do you guys?
For me, honestly, just looking back, one thing that I always remember from this class is like I think it was like the first or second time we had this class. Hoff was like, turn off that little yummy. You know how to turn off that yummy in your head.
Hmm.
I've been working on that because there's times when I'm like talking to somebody and I'm like talking to myself too in my head. But the yummy, I've been working on that. Turned that off. Something
I
else
forgot about that.
for
That's a good
real,
one.
like
That's a
turn it,
good one. That's
yeah.
crazy.
And then just talking to myself, treating myself better. Um, being a better listener. I feel like I'm a better listener than I was before I started this class. Something else when I say like disagreements or arguments. I feel like I like conflicts in groups. I feel like I handle those better. Like I listen, and then when it comes to perception, yeah, perception. Joe learned about that. It's a big one too. Anything to say on perception, y'all? Because we had a podcast now too.
Nah, that was
No,
like perception. I think I will always kind of view perception the same way in terms of like I just kind of look at in terms of understanding what someone's saying. I put myself in their shoes, like, and that's the easiest way in terms of perceiving things. Like
yeah,
all you have to do is just think about how they're thinking. And I think that's how it should be.
yeah,
But people, we already had a podcast about perception. I'm not talking about perception.
Yeah.
Go ahead, about.
So for me, I would say like collaboration, like all that time we spent in the room, just talking, bouncing ideas off of each other, and just like yeah, like you said, listening.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I would say I'm a good listener, but for this class I've gotten a little better. Yeah, I think that's my.
I could say the same. Probably just active listening, and then I feel like it's a work in progress, but
Yeah.
I feel like more of public speaking, because like honestly, at the very beginning, I still feel that way. I'm very like scared to talk to other people, so I feel like with this class, it was more of I could communicate a little better. So it's a work in progress, but I feel like that's one of my big ones. And I feel like what I'm learning is just I also learned from this group is that I feel like it's so good that you're able to communicate with others so that you can get certain feedback from them. And it just makes a good, like, as it says, collaboration with people. So that's more my main ones.
Now, I got a question for you guys. What do you think is just something that you need to improve on the most after taking this class? Like maybe it was something eye opening to like something that you like didn't know or you already knew and you're like, yeah, I gotta really fix this. I can start. For me, it was like no, it's like knowing when to shut my mouth. Like in terms of like that's kind of a little like rude way to put it, but it's like sometimes talking too much or a lot of times talking too much can could put yourself in trouble or just putting yourself in predicaments you don't have to be put in. I feel like I've done that a lot with myself in terms of like I've gotten into fights because I talk too much. I've gotten into arguments because I talk too much, and I think in terms of that, even here, like sometimes I'm kind of just like I have an idea pop in my head, and just like you were saying, the yippee yapper in your mind, I that's going on for me at all times.
Yeah.
I think I'm a good listener too, but if something like really pops into my head, I have to say it. Like that's kind of like something I really have to keen in on because my personality is so out there that like it can get obnoxious at points, and I feel like I need to be more nonchalant. I don't want to use the word, but I need to be a little more nonchalant in terms of that because it can get frustrating for people. Because if I'm just talking your ear off, then it's like Mason, bro, you can't even like I can't do this. So I think that's another thing where I need to focus on in terms of being able to quiet down more and focus on like what the task is and stuff like that. I think I'll be able to do that, and it just comes with time. So, yeah, as long as you understand what your negative is, you'll be good. So,
Not gonna lie, mine a little opposite. The stuff that I think in my head, I don't say like out loud all the time. I want to do that more. Like I want to spit it out.
Be
Cause the
able
stuff
to,
I be thinking, like it be funny. I can have your
I think that's
laughing
for
for
for all three
yeah.
of you. I
Hmm.
think all three of you have such great ideas and great things to say,
Hmm.
but it's just like
I get.
the fear of being judged. I feel like is what
Mhm.
causes people to not talk as much. And for me, I don't care.
It's not. Yeah, it's like yeah, people perception. Yeah, how they
And
perceive it.
sometimes I feel like it's not worth your time to say it. I feel like sometimes people think that way. Like it's not worth. Like why would I say what I need to say? Because like they're kind of just yapping about nothing. And but the fear of being judged is something that so many people have insecurities about, and that so many people care about what other people think. Everyone cares about what other people think, but it just depends on the extent. You should care about what people think because if I for like promote myself as just a rude person and I'm always rude and talking over people, then it's like I should care what the feedback is. But sometimes if you got an opinion, let it be heard. If you got a joke to say, let it be like it doesn't matter. Like if you're corny, then it's fine. But I feel like with all three of you, you should express yourselves more because you guys have that. You guys can express yourselves more and we've all had conversations behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I've seen what your guys' personalities are, and everyone's funny in their own certain parts. So I think if you guys continue to express yourselves more, more opportunities will come. So if y'all wanted to hear my advice, I feel like that's the advice I can give you. What about you, Michael? What do you think is something you can improve on after this class?
Maybe try speaking up a little bit more than I do, cause like y'all know I'm quiet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not quiet. I just gotta get to know the people
Yeah.
first. So yeah, I would probably say that.
I'm on the same boat. I feel like
So I
I'm
said,
less of a talker than he is. So I gotta work on that. And I feel like, as you said, I feel like it's more of you're scared to say something and they like
Be shot down.
them judging you or not think the same as you or
Right.
think
If
you're
you
weird or
saying a
something,
joke
you
and
know?
it's silent, nobody laughing.
Exactly. Like it's just a fear. So it's a work in
but
progress.
sometimes people aren't funny. Like,
That okay, that's
Yeah,
another
yeah,
and
thing
you
too.
don't
Yeah.
have to be funny. Like, that's the
yeah.
thing what people get wrong. Actually, the thing I said earlier, don't do it. When I said say the joke if you think you're funny. If you're not funny, don't say it, bro. I promise you, like it can throw a whole thing. I think sometimes it could be your stick. Like maybe you're so unfunny that it's funny. But like for me, I'm not just gonna say I'm funny, but I can make people laugh. I can make people laugh. I can make anybody laugh, I think. So sometimes I shouldn't do that. But in terms of some other people, if you're not funny, don't try to be.
Mhm.
It's not
Yeah.
you. So it's like
You could tell when it's like forced.
that's what I'm saying. So sometimes in terms of expressing yourself, it's not always about being funny. Like for me, it's that's me. I like being funny. I like making people laugh unexpectedly and stuff. But for you guys, it's kind of like knowledge. Like you guys know things that
Yeah.
you guys know. You guys are smart people. So that's something that really is like, and don't be afraid to over talk. That's the thing is like you.
No,
That's
no, no,
what
no.
that's
Right
that's
away.
something that everyone got to work on is like it's better to over talk than under talk because especially in terms of talking to somebody and communicating. What if I don't understand what you're telling? What if you're my boss, Malcolm, and you tell me something to do something, and like I have no idea what you're saying because you don't want to tell me the whole thing? Like, if you want to put all the details into it, go ahead and do that because you're kind of like you're the producer in sports broadcasting. If you just tell me like if I'm working on the camera and you're telling me like Mason just turn to the left, I'm like, well, you're not gonna do that, but because you do more than that, but sometimes it's just like things like that where people need to hear more from you, and I feel like you should care. You know, care for more people to understand you. So I think that's something that everybody can work on. And sometimes, bro, people don't need to understand. People don't need to understand you. People don't need to care for you. So like just knowing when to do that, knowing when to know that is very key. What is your guys' favorite moment from this class?
I was just spending all that time.
All that
Yeah,
chit
really in
chat.
the rooms,
All that
yeah.
chit chat really.
Behind the scenes.
That was yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You? That's your guy. All of
Probably
you
but in
guys
the smaller room, you know the one like with the computers?
Yeah.
Probably was in there.
were just talking about nothing, just chatting it
We
up.
was getting work
Yeah.
done. We was getting work done.
We were getting work done, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, new news to me. We were getting work done.
I was getting work done.
Some of
Uh,
us were.
Yeah, some of us were.
We can't really speak for everybody here, so
with the two people who haven't, bro. All right, we're not doing this. We're not arguing right now because we had to delay
that's part
twice.
of
We had to delay
communication
twice, by the
though.
way, ladies and gentlemen. We had
The
to delay
first time
twice.
I was out of town.
We had to delay twice, maybe three times
Or four.
It was
because
only
of
one.
certain times. But I think for me, well, okay, I should have been more specific. But what about assignment? Like for me, my favorite assignment was the when we had to.
Mine was a personality test, like
Oh
we
yeah.
had to do a little test and
Oh, I didn't do
It'd
that.
be like a
we had to
certain
do it and we were in
animal.
a circle. Yeah,
I
that was my favorite one. It was
Yeah.
cool.
mine was the when we had to do our like bring our object
Oh,
or thing.
presentation.
Yeah, the
Yeah, that
presentation when we our first presentation to everybody, so everybody can get to know you. Um, yeah, I think that one was like my favorite because of what I said, and I thought it was meaningful what I was saying. So I think most things I have him say that are meaningful, like are pretty good, but most things I just yeah, for someone it just doesn't make sense. So
I enjoyed our podcast too. Just something I've never done before. So
I think the last one we just did,
yeah,
100% the best
yeah.
Mhm.
one. 100% the best one. What about you, Malcolm? What's your favorite assignment? What was your favorite thing that we did?
This last podcast that we just did.
The last podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. But in case y'all didn't tune in, we did a top 5 nostalgic TV shows that we had when we were kids. So watch that if you want to hear more from us. And this has been the Young Yappers. Thank you guys for joining us on this journey. This you guys have really been here for the people who are watching. Y'all have been here for every step of the journey of in this class. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and I appreciate you guys for tuning into Greg Pop's channel. Keep watching. I'm gonna still be on here. I don't know if Ernaya or Mariana
Yeah,
will be back here,
we'll
but
be coming. We'll be back.
hopefully they will. And I'll see you guys next time.